Wait. Before this video starts, I just want to say, if you haven't already, I'd really appreciate if you would hit subscribe for this channel. We just hit 50 subs, and the support for the channel has never been higher, so genuinely thank you to everyone in the Horde for that. We're finally on the road to 1,000 subs, which would be crazy, so help us reach our next goal by subscribing. Thanks for subbing if you did. Let's get on with the video. What's going on, everyone, and how's it hanging in the Horde? My name's Ryujin3838, and that's right, I'm back at it again doing another Overwatch 2 Legendary Skin ranking. As you can tell from clicking on this video, today we're going to be ranking all of the Legendary skins for Tracer in Overwatch 2. This video will only cover skins out as of this recording, so if you're watching this in the future, be aware there might be a skin not featured on this list. A disclaimer before we start, this list is based entirely on my personal opinion. If I rank a skin in a way you disagree with, feel free to let me know in the comments below how you'd rank these skins yourself. I just make these lists for fun and to celebrate my passion for this game in a unique way. This series is also ultimately put forward by you guys, the viewers both in and out of the Horde, so make sure to leave your suggestions as to who we should rank next in the comments below. The next time we do one of these will be for a tank hero, and you can see which characters we've already ranked by checking out the full playlist for this series available on my channel page or in the description below. With all that said, let's go ahead and blink into Tracer's legendary skins, starting with our epic skin honorable mention. Receiving this ranking's honorable mention slot is actually a tie? In contrast to how few epic skins Genji had in the last ranking, Tracer has a ton of epic skins, and almost all of them are garbage. However, there were two epic skins that stuck out to me, and to put it simply, I couldn't decide which one I liked better, so we'll go through them both one at a time really quickly. First up is the Overwatch 1 limited time event skin, Comic Book. Available during a special event called Tracer's Comic Book Challenge, this epic skin is quite rare, I would say, and I think it's just a whole lot of fun. I'm a very big comics nerd, so a skin like this was just really appealing to me specifically. I enjoy all the onomatopoeia comic book sound effects that are on the wrists here, which also show up on the guns, and the pants are hilarious. They remind me of those hentai jackets, and I remember when it came out, that was the only thing people were talking about. Also, a fun fact here, on the pants here, all of these panels that show up are from real Overwatch comics, which is just really cool. On to our second mention, we have the Overwatch 2 shop exclusive, Synthwave. This skin is so colorful and so unique. The highlight intro that's paired with this skin is amazing too. I think if some of the other elements had been changed to resemble more of this style, like maybe her hair, this could have been a solid legendary skin. Alas, sadly, it was not meant to be. I love both of those epic skins, and hopefully you guys can see why it was pretty impossible for me to pick only one of them. Anyway, you're just here for the legendaries, right? I understand. That's totally fair. Let's go ahead and flash forward to last place on the ranking.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I think I can guarantee you won't be able to guess which of these Tracer skins is my least favorite. Go ahead, guess. Leave a comment right now telling me what you think is the worst Tracer skin. Got your answer locked in? Also, if you guessed wrong, you owe me a favor, and I'm calling it in now, so you have to subscribe. And don't complain to me, this deal was legally binding, and you know it when you signed that contract. Here we go. In 20th place is the shop-exclusive Overwatch 2 skin, Polar. The reason I doubt most of you picked this as the worst Tracer skin isn't because I think you guys all have a different opinion than I do. I mean, that's true still. This whole series is just about my opinion, so of course I expect people out there to disagree with me. No, my friends, the reason I think most of you didn't pick Polar as the worst Tracer skin is because no one remembers this skin f***ing exists. Let's be real for a second here. Why the hell would you remember it? It's literally the default Tracer design from Overwatch 2 with a puffy jacket and a hood. How in the world is this considered a legendary skin? I haven't been this confused about a legendary since the Moira skin ranking, however long ago that was, because time is an illusion, and in case anyone forgot, mine is the exact same as Moira. This skin is the default look of the game's flagship character, and it was dropped in a bundle with a Sojourn skin that was also default Sojourn. You mean to tell me you expect players to get hype about a new Tracer skin that looks like it was just dropped off at the Arctic Circle? Come on, guys. We can do so much better than this. There is absolutely 100%, without a doubt, no benefit to this design whatsoever. It's bland, it's 99% this pure white color, and it's 99% diet tracer. The only thing that is 100% about it is the price metric, because everything in that bundle was a new item, so it's still technically worth $20 at least, and you can't convince me it's worth whatever the fake bundle price is. Polar is an epic skin in disguise, and if I had the choice, I would have rather had Synthwave or Comic Book be called a legendary skin with 0 changes made to either of them before I made Polar a legendary. I don't normally say this about any legendary skin, but I am certain I hate Polar. And that's why it's getting last place on my ranking.
Because tonight will be the night that I will fall for you over again. Don't make me change my mind.
Why is my screen just entirely blacked out? Like, what is going on here? Swear to God, I'm gonna fumble around in the dark to fix this and then fall down the stairs and break my neck and die or some stupid shit. Aha! Bingo! Wait, that's what the skin is? I mean, it's alright, I guess. Wait a second, why is it in black and white now? Alright, let me see if I can turn this off, and... oh. That's just the way the skin actually looks? 19th place on my ranking is the Overwatch 1 base legendary skin, Ultraviolet. Let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room here. I don't like how much of this outfit is monochromatic. Similar to Polar, this outfit feels 99% the same, and the only part that has any real distinct color is this odd bright magenta and these small little spots. The guns being this same hot pink is probably the best part of this skin, solely because it isn't black and white, but I don't get why there's any pink on this skin at all in the first place. It just doesn't mesh well, and with how little of it there is on the fit, it looks like more along the lines of like the source code being missing for this skin or something. It doesn't look right. I like the idea of a punk aesthetic tracer, but Ultraviolet's color choice, or should I say the lack thereof, drags down the skin immensely. If this were any different colors, it would probably be so much better.
What? This is a moment in history! Take a picture!
This is gonna sound really weird, but I swear to God, I don't remember the Overwatch team getting an invite to the Grammys. I don't think this is the best place to brag about your new patch note changes, Tracer. No one cares that you have over 200 HP now, so does everyone else. 18th place goes to one of the most recent Tracer skins to be released, the Overwatch 2 Winter Wonderland event skin, Formal Wear. This was by far one of the biggest disappointments of the Winter Fair shop event. In case you missed it, the Winter Fair was the latest take on the Christmas event, where players were given an exclusive battle pass of sorts that you could earn tickets towards for every 9 games you played, I think it was. Or, if you chose to purchase the pass for $10, you could get even more tickets as you leveled it up and while playing more games. These tickets could then be used to buy specific items from the Fair Pass, including new legendary skins, or other smaller ticket items like sprays, profile pics, etc. The theme between the exclusive skins was split between these Christmas-themed recolors and new formal-themed fits. While not all these Winter Fair skins were available through the Fair Pass to begin with, the Tracer one caused a bit of an uproar during the event for how you could get it. You see, in order to get everything in the Fair Pass, you needed somewhere around 530, 540 tickets. However, people figured out pretty quickly that simply playing matches to get free tickets, or even buying and fully completing the Fair Pass, there was no way you could get enough tickets to unlock everything. Blizzard was left with 2 options. It's time to play everyone's favorite game show. What batshit crazy thing does Blizzard do today? Blizzard, you can either A, do nothing about it and force players to cherry pick between all the items they want. Or you can B, listen to their feedback and change the event so players can unlock everything they want. Do you want to take a guess what they did? If you selected C, a $30 bundle in the shop including all the Tracer formal cosmetics and enough tickets to unlock the entire Fair Pass, you'd be correct. I genuinely think this was the dumbest choice they could have made. Like, if you're making a free event, giving players the opportunity to earn all these free things for free, just let them get everything. Anyway, the skin itself is pretty plain and boring. Yeah, it's red carpet Tracer, but Who cares? I have nothing to say because the fit is honestly so bland that I can't really come up with anything to comment on. It's just Met Gala Tracer, and even if she showed up to the event wearing this, she still wouldn't stand out.
I walk to Burger King, then I walk back home from Burger King.
Wow, this skin has not a whole lot going on. I mean, come on, guys, let's be real. It's just, like, athletic Tracer. What is the big deal? Oh, I see it now. Coming across the finish line at 17th place, we've got the Summer Games event skin from Overwatch 1, Sprinter. This is another one of those fits that's got Tracer in regular clothes, and I put it here on the ranking because there's not really anything special or crazy going on. Sure, regular looking clothes can work in some cases, but here it just doesn't. She's coming home from her morning run, and she's got on this Summer Games flag as a cape, which I think is kind of weird. I know in real life some Olympians will wear the flag of their country like a cape, but in this example, this is like if you were representing Team USA and you pulled up with the Olympic flag wrapped around your shoulders that you just ripped off the flagpole. There's nothing that stands out to me about Sprinter, and with it being from the 2016 Summer Games, the first ever Overwatch event, I'm not at all that surprised it's somewhat lackluster. Sprinter's an okay fit, but when I look through Tracer's entire wardrobe and say the same thing verbatim about nearly every skin, you know I'm gonna have to drag some of these skins through the mud to get to the better ones.
Buckingham Palace announced the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
Okay, so this one makes a little more sense for an Olympic athlete to wear. Regardless, I gotta cheer on the home team. USA, baby! USA! USA! Going just above Sprinter in 16th place, we have the counterpart to the prior skin from the same Summer Games event in Overwatch 1, Track and Field. Like I mentioned at the start of this segment now, I prefer this one to Sprinter because it looks more like something an actual athlete representing their nation would wear. She's got the British flag on her outfit here, and on this massive flag cape as well. She's even got the initials branded onto her chest here with this GBR sticker. And while I'm looking at it, I gotta say, I like this black stopwatch chrono accelerator more than I did on Sprinter with the white one. While I certainly think Track and Field is superior to its counterpart, it ultimately is still a color swap of this design that I'm not quite fond of. Like I said with Sprinter, it's okay, but so is a lot of Tracer's wardrobe, and I can't give everything the same opinion or else this video would be extremely short and extremely lame. Track and Field is alright, it makes sense for how it looks from when it was released, and of Tracer's Summer Games outfits, it's definitely the one I'd pick. Blizzard, can we just stop giving Lunar New Year outfits to the non-Asian characters, please? Like, Mercy did not need another Asian fit. And speaking of Mercy, you ruined my Mercy skin ranking vid by releasing Mystic Swan like a month after. Some of you guys even asked for me to redo the entire Mercy ranking for it, which I'm not gonna do, by the way. You know how much effort I put into that video? There's no way I'd redo the whole thing for one new skin. So I'll just give my thoughts in this intro instead. Okay, so it's pretty. I like the colors. The wings here are solid, and the staff is pretty solid too. Love this gold thing on the end here. But I can't get over the cultural appropriation. I'd give it, let's say, 17th on the Mercy ranking. Move everything below it down one, and everything at 16th and above would stay the same. Happy? Now let's get back to Tracer already. 15th place is given to the Lunar New Year Tracer skin from Overwatch 1, Neja. I'm gonna be honest, this skin looks so bizarre on Tracer. Like, am I the only one that sees it? I don't get why we keep having this conversation in the Overwatch community about how weird it is that these clearly Asian-inspired skins just never end up going to the multiple Asian characters on the roster, and every time it goes viral, Blizzard just hits ignore and pretends not to see it. I'll say that the hair is probably the weirdest part to me. Like, it just looks kind of weird that she's got like two little buns here, because normally her hair is like all over the place, and I feel like this hairstyle is somewhat Chinese inspired and it's just kind of off. She's even got like Chinese makeup and like markings on her face. Like it just feels wrong, man. I'm not a big fan of how many different colors are on this skin too. Looking at this angle alone, I can see 3 different shades of this sea green. Look. There's one there, there's one here, and there's another one on the pants. Like, it's all pretty much the same color, just faded out more and more. She's got gold trim on, like, kind of unnecessary pieces all over this thing. There's random spots, like, here on the shoulder that are just, like, completely whited out. And then you've got the boots and the wrist gauntlets here that just have this flame decal. The flames actually come from the myth of Neja in Chinese folklore, who was said to have wheels of fire attached to his heels that made him move really fast. But I think that's honestly the only reason they gave this skin to Tracer, because they were like, ooh, Tracer, go burr. I also don't have a clue what's going on with these weapons here. There's a flower on them with these little pink bits that haven't been on anywhere else on the skin. And then you've still got the flame decal on it, and it's white, and it's got like, it just looks weird, okay? It's weird. The Asian inspiration just doesn't belong on Tracer, and I can only hope in the future Lunar New Year events that Asian characters actually get Asian inspired skins. We had the perfect opportunity for Lifeweaver here.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops, God bless America, and gentlemen, start your engine!
I know most people are super excited for the upcoming Cowboy Bebop collab coming later in Season 9, but if Blizzard's still looking for any more collab ideas, I got you. Look no further than this skin right here. They could easily recolor this to make Lightning McQueen Tracer, equipped with Lightning McQueen Crocs. Speeding through 14th place is another Overwatch 1 base legendary T-Racer. I think giving Tracer a race car driver skin is so fun, but with this one I'm not that big of a fan. I specifically don't like the colors that were used for this outfit. The design's great, but there's a lot of this empty white space here in the middle, and it kind of makes the design look boring. It also just distracts from a lot of the other cooler stuff on this skin, like the yellow going down the side with some of these sponsor stickers, these fun little yellow shoes that look kind of like Crocs a bit, or any of the other fun elements this skin brings. In response, I've come up with 2 solutions to this, both of which I think would make this skin better on so many different levels. My first suggestion, put the sponsor stickers everywhere. It would be a hell of a lot funnier and could distract from all this negative space with the bright white void. My second suggestion, though, is a bit more practical. Instead of using white in the center, switch it to red or black. If you take a look at this helmet here, there's a sponsor symbol on the top of it that's got this yellow, red, and black logo, so we can obviously see where the yellow comes from, and the black is present on a lot of this armor here. And we get the red here on the actual pistols. Now, black in the middle here would definitely be better than white, in my opinion, but it would still feel like staring at an empty void. However, if we put red in there, suddenly it's a lot more unique. It would match better with the guns, as well as the sponsor logo. It would fill in all that gap and make it look definitely somewhat improved. And it would look like Lightning McQueen. Unfortunately, although we may dream of ways to improve these Overwatch fits, the average Paper 5 player like myself can only do that. T-Racer is a fun skin, but it could be better with different colors, and since it's a base legendary, you already know it has an alt color, and that I probably like the alt color more, or else I'd be talking about it right now, not T-Racer. Listen, I didn't know Tracer was on some hard times. Don't get me wrong, Overwatch has been on the struggle bus ever since like the last couple years of Overwatch 1, but if this skin is implying Tracer's turn to chimney sweeping as a second job, then we must be in a worse state than I thought. Coming in at Lucky 13, we have the Overwatch 2 Season 2 Battle Pass skin, Street Urchin. This design is okay, I guess. I think having Tracer's sophisticated equipment made with a steampunk theme as another nod to British influence was a good choice. To get more specific, it's the equipment that's on her wrists here and the chrono accelerator in the middle. It's also present with the guns themselves, which are pretty nice, I would say. The rest of the fit, though, is grubby orphan Tracer, which to me is kind of funny, but that's because my sense of humor has been irrevocably scuffed by my years of exposure on the internet. This skin also dropped in a weird spot, being part of the Season 2 Battle Pass, which in case anyone here forgot or simply isn't aware of what the theme was, that season was the Battle for Olympus. You know, the season with all the Greek god and myth-inspired outfits. So I'm honestly just a bit bamboozled as to why this outfit was put into the Battle Pass, and not any of the, like, 5 other Greek god skins that were put in the shop instead. Anyway, Street Urchin is like many of Tracer's fits from the Midwest, because every single thing in it is mid. Okay, well, not every Tracer skin is mid, but you get my point. There's always one every skin ranking, or for the life of me, I can't come up with a good segue or joke to transition to the next skin. When will this streak end? When will I ever be free from this never-ending cycle of being unfunny? Anyways, now that my daily depressive spiral is over, in 12th place we've got another Overwatch 1 Anniversary Remix skin, Tagged. I've said it before, I'll say it again, recolors are always hit or miss. You either get it wrong and the skin gets way worse, or you get it right and the skin is infinitely better, with not a whole lot of wiggle room between those two options. Tagged, in my opinion, unfortunately, is of the way worse category. The design that's based upon graffiti is honestly such a classic Tracer skin that making a recolor that would be better than it was always going to be tough. Tagged made one simple mistake here with the new color choices, that being, in my opinion, it tried using way too many at once. To me, the appeal of graffiti came from the darker colors and more subtle paint splashes that didn't feel random. Here on Tagged, every blotch of paint and color feels kind of random. They went with this all-white hoodie here, which I think was a good idea to have this like blank canvas, and then they tried to cover it up with these small little hastily drawn wall art kind of things, you know, they're just kind of everywhere. I can see where they were going with this, trying to distract from the empty space by adding some neat little drawings, but it kind of makes the skin worse because there's not enough of them. If there were a lot more of these little designs that nearly covered the whole hoodie, the skin would be amazing, but because there's so few of them and they're so spaced out, it just kind of makes it feel random, and it's more like an excuse to cover up this space instead of just being a cool design element. Moving past the white splash hoodie, the other colors used are kind of flat out ugly. I don't like this pukish green, yellow, paired with the bright orange pants for some reason. Then they made her hair here this dark purple, which doesn't really fit with anything else on the skin. Finally, I think the worst thing is the color of her technology stuff here. It looks military grade with this darkish green they used, which doesn't really fit with the street artist theme they're going for. It's even worse with the pistols here, like with this military green olive handle paired with this blank steel top half. The spray canister is also kind of worse too. The stickers are a bit different than they are in graffiti, and the way that they're like put up here with this like splash of something that got stained there makes it seem like it's an explosive weapon, which again doesn't fit with the street artist theme. Maybe that's just all me, but Tagged misses the mark on a lot of different levels, and the more subtle elements on its counterpart are more appealing. If they had leaned into the more spontaneous art look, I think Tagged could have easily been better.
Your Majesty, there's a second bus coming!
Now, obviously, this skin isn't in first place, but at least it takes your breath away. If you got that joke, you know what's up. This bump, flying in at 11th place, we have an exclusive Overwatch 1 skin that isn't all that exclusive anymore, I guess. Slipstream. This outfit was originally part of the Blizzard Origin skins that were given out if you purchased certain copies of the original Overwatch. Slipstream and a few other outfits were exclusively unlocked within the Overwatch Origins edition of the game when it launched in 2016. Later on, all these skins would come back in various other versions of the game, including the Game of the Year edition, the Legendary edition, and eventually would be put in the Watchpoint pack for the release of Overwatch 2. These skins were meant to be fairly exclusive because you had to buy generally more expensive versions of the game to get your hands on it. Then with them being re-released so many times, I'd say most players out there probably have this skin along with all the other Origin skins. These Origin skins all reference prior lore for the characters they were made for, and Slipstream is no different. The skin comes from Tracer's past as a former test pilot, where she flew an experimental teleporting jet called Slipstream, and I know that sounds insane, but it's Overwatch lore, so that's kind of expected at this point. Unfortunately, there was an accident resulting in Tracer gaining her teleporting abilities that became out of control, and so the Overwatch team designed her Chrono Accelerator in order to help keep her in one place. Onto the actual critique for this design, I feel that Slipstream is once again fairly average. It's a classic for sure, but when everyone has it, it becomes commonplace very quickly. I'd honestly consider this another Tracer default skin. At the very least, I consider Slipstream a fun skin. I enjoy the blue and yellow color scheme for the armor, and these aviator sunglasses here really make this skin what it is. The flowing scarf going down her back is another fun element, as it flies in the wind while you teleport around, pissing off the enemy backline. Overall, there's not too much going on with Slipstream, but at the very least it's better than the other skins we've covered so far. With it also being around since the release of Overwatch, there are in turn better skins that have come out over the years. Slipstream is just so common now, and while it is plenty of fun, I have a lot more fun with some of these other designs.
I'll be Tracer.
I'm already Tracer.
What about Widowmaker?
I'm already Widowmaker.
I'll be Bastion.
Nerf Bastion.
You're right, so Winston.
I wanna be Winston.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend anyone, but the name of this skin is really funny, and every time I say it out loud, I've been holding back my laughter. I've tried recording this segue so many different times, so I'm just gonna play whichever one I don't giggle through. 10th place goes to another Lunar New Year event skin from Overwatch 1, Hongildong. Right out of the gate, I want to say I'm glad this skin doesn't feel as appropriating as the Neja skin did. I don't know if anyone else out there felt the same way as me about it, but Hongildong doesn't feel as weird in my opinion, and I'm glad that that is the case. Even though it makes me feel happy for that, it ultimately still isn't one of my favorite Tracer skins. Talking about some of the things I enjoy specifically, I really like these colors on the skin, with this darker shaded blue, with this red and gold here, that comes into play all over this vest with the ropes and stuff, and even a bit on the boots too. I also like this white sleeve outfit that eventually comes to this black part here on the wrists and the boots. I just think that's a nice contrast. I really like this hat here with the headband, and I think my favorite part of this skin has to be this glowing lantern chrono accelerator. I just think that was a really neat idea. The look of the skin overall is alright too. I looked up what Hongildong means, and supposedly it is outlaw in Korean, but the skin does kind of remind me of a cowboy in some ways, especially with that hat. I'm not super into the design of the guns here, but they also aren't terrible. They fit with the outlaw theme and are very subtle, kind of like the rest of the outfit. I do wish there wasn't so much of this like patterned steel here. I think it kind of makes the pistols look a bit bulky, but it's alright. In the end, Hongildong is the superior Lunar New Year Tracer outfit in my opinion. However, it's still somewhat bland as a whole, leaving it at this point in my personal ranking at the start of the top 10.
I got a Glock in my Rari. 17 shots, no 38.
I'm like, yeah, she's fine. Wonder when she'll be mine. She walk past, I press rewind to see that ass one more time, and I got this soda.
You know what? Yeah. Forget Lightning McQueen. We don't need that shit. I do think this skin looks better in Dynaco Blue. Securing 9th place on my ranking is the counterpart to the base legendary T-Racer skin from Overwatch 1, Mach T. I mentioned this before when talking about T-Racer, but the color choice on this design is an improvement when compared to the aforementioned skin. Mach T fills in a lot of that blank white space, utilizing this bright orange with the cyan here, and there's also not as much of that white space on the legs, opting to use the cyan for all of it instead of just on the sides. I also think this cyan and bright orange are both colors I enjoy, especially when they're utilized together. It reminds me of the Overwatch League team, the London Spitfire, who used this same color scheme. Now, the white is still present on this skin, but thankfully it's not as much or as blatant as it was on T-Racer. This time, they opted to use the white in spots that don't matter as much and don't take away as much from this look of the skin, such as her armor on the Chrono Accelerator and wrist gauntlets and her helmet. The gun doesn't change hardly anything at all compared to the one on T-Racer. It just simply swaps the red and yellow scheme to the cyan and orange one on Mach T. I do think the one thing that's a bit disappointing about this skin is that all of these sponsor stickers on the side here are the exact same as the ones on T-Racer. I think it could have been way more unique and a lot more fun if it didn't reuse the same ones, but that's an incredibly minor nitpick from me because I know that would take a lot of effort to do that. All that said, I like Mach T a lot more than I remember liking it before. These colors are just more fun and vibrant than the ones on T-Racer, which is what elevates elevates this version so much higher on my ranking. Despite my praise, however, there are Tracer skins that are a lot more detailed, interesting, and honestly just more fun to use in my opinion, so Mach T is going to be left in the dust here.
So, you're the punk I've heard about.
I've only got one thing left to say about this skin. Rock on, Tracer. Rock on. Blasting through 8th place, we have the Overwatch 1 base legendary skin, the counterpart to the Ultraviolet outfit, Punk. The main problem with the version we looked at before of this skin was simply the lack of color, but that's all better thanks to Punk. With Ultraviolet, there was just too much noir, and the pink highlights didn't make a whole lot of sense, but here, the pink is everywhere, and it works infinitely more. Pairing it with this soft blue here, like on the armor and the pants here, for a lot of the smaller patches of cloth was neat. I also like that they used a third color, this yellow, for a lot of like the wiry framework for her technology. The pistols are fine, I guess. There's not anything unique going on here, but the pink star at least gives it some flair. There's even a scratched on signature from Tracer on the side, along with all of these scuff marks all over to give it that sort of dirty grunge feel. I believe Punk has a much clearer way of paying homage to the origin of the punk scene than Ultraviolet did, and actually giving it any color was a definite improvement. Punk is bright and really pops, grabbing your attention like the rebel spirit it's embodying. That's pretty much all that I like about this outfit. However, there are quite a few more skins that I think are more deserving of attention, so that's why I put Punk here.
Tell him to bring out the whole ocean. You think it's a game, huh? Tell him to bring out the whole ocean. Tell him to bring out the whole ocean.
She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. In 7th place, we have Tracer's Overwatch League exclusive outfit, her 2018 Atlantic All-Star skin. For those of you who have seen my Genji skin ranking, you may remember that I said I liked Genji's All-Star outfit more than Tracer's. Both were released at the same time and were complementary skins meant to oppose one another. Tracer's skin is very ocean-themed, whereas Genji's is more fiery and volcanic. That said, I figured that some of you may be wondering why I said I liked Genji's more, but gave it a lower rank on the Genji ranking than I gave Tracer's just now. This brings to light a bigger issue I want to talk about that's relevant to this Tracer ranking. The reason I put Tracer's All-Star skin a bit higher than where I put Genji's, and higher than I expected with this ranking, is because Tracer's wardrobe feels incredibly mid. Her skins tend to either be super boring, or they are absolutely incredible, with hardly any in-between. Her All-Star skin, compared to the rest of her wardrobe, is definitely leaning towards incredible. Despite being the most recognized character for this game, I found myself not enjoying most of Tracer's outfits. Plus, I'm not going to compare the 2018 Genji skin to any of Tracer's fits, just like I wouldn't compare any of Tracer's fits to any of Genji's. Compared to each other, the skins they were made for, I prefer 2018 Genji. Enough of the explanation though, let's go ahead and talk about All-Star Tracer. I really admire this teal blue color going down the side of her suit that resembles fish scales, paired with these gold highlights that look kind of like sunken treasure. I also approve of the seashell chrono accelerator. It's fun and gives a bit of a mermaid feel. The guns sort of combine the elements used across the suit, with the fish scale padding on the grip, more seashells on the side, and using that pearlescent armor to make the body of the weapon. Some things I dislike though, I'm not really digging the hair. This anglerfish antenna thingy is off-putting to me, but at least the color and shape continues to give that ocean wave vibe. All-Star Tracer is better than I gave credit for when I made the Genji ranking, and looking at the rest of her outfits, it is one of her preferable ones. But now that the Overwatch League is dead and the Overwatch Champion Series is on the way, it may not come back, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
Cheers, love! The cavalry's here!
Well, blimey, what a load of tosh this is right here. I mean, seriously, the bloke's got me miffed just looking at her. The bloody broad thinks she's a jolly old redcoat. Bonkers, in it. And he wrote, I best get on with me yakking about this here fit, else you lot will get brassed off. I'm sorry, I just looked up a bunch of British slang, and that was so cringe, I regret everything. Taking a shot at 6th place on this ranking is Tracer's Overwatch 1 Archives event legendary skin, Cavalry. A fun little nod to one of Tracer's popular catchphrases. This skin is the Tracer equivalent of the American Cassidy skin. Despite looking like Paul Revere's cousin from London, this skin is actually quite good. I think the design team did an excellent job at capturing the look of an old British soldier, and it's downright hilarious to me that Tracer has a Viking Redcoat skin in Overwatch. The main point that really sells me on this skin in particular is actually her weapons. They've been replaced with this wooden pistol design rather than her super futuristic energy pistols, and the intricate look of this version of her pistols is stunning. I absolutely love this like gold and navy insignia here. It might be black, actually, I can't really tell, but I like it. It's good. There's also all these gold bits and pieces that make up the actual, like, normally metal pieces of the gun, too, which gives it that sort of old-timey, old-fashioned vibe, and that's great. This white cloth here is just kind of interesting to me. I don't really know why it's actually on the design, but it's alright, I guess. Last thing I'll say about the pistols, I also like this black sort of comfy padding on the handle. The design of the outfit itself is somewhat goofy, but the guns really carry this skin in my eyes. With the guns being the main aspect I enjoyed, though, I didn't really want to put this skin much higher on my list, so Cavalry's gonna have to remain at this post.
Ever get that feeling of deja vu? Ever get that feeling of deja vu? Ever get...
Alright gamers, strap in. We've reached the top 5 on my ranking, the skins I consider to be top-notch, the best of every character's skins. Let's kick it off by starting with one of Tracer's classic outfits, her Overwatch 1 anniversary skin, Graffiti. It's crossed my mind that this may be one of my more controversial picks, given that some of the prior Tracer skins might be considered more intricate than this one, but sometimes simplicity is bliss. I think Graffiti is a darn good Tracer skin, even though it's not as detailed, and I'll go ahead and talk about what exactly it is I like about this skin before I end up going on another long explanation rant no one cares about. I really dig the colors on this skin and the subtlety they employ. I love this teal hoodie that has these few faded paint splotches on it, then also pairing them with these darker sweatpants. Her hair is the same navy blue as these darker sweatpants here, which matches well with the rest of the fit. The shoes are on par with the hoodie here, using that same teal, but also adding these yellow centers in the middle to match these gold wrist gauntlets. The gas mask is cool, giving her this mystery artist feel. Looking at her pants, I appreciate these more abstract splotches on them with these thinner whites, reds, and golds. It doesn't seem as random, rather that they have some kind of purpose at least, but art is subjective, so maybe that's just me. One of my favorite elements has to be these pistols that are a whole bunch of fun to use. They may be really simple, but I love that they used spray canisters for the bullet storage. And yeah, I called it bullet storage. I don't know proper gun terms despite me being an American. Is it a clip? Is it a magazine? I don't know. Sue me. Also, it's kind of funny that they have Winston on the side. I enjoy the subtle, mysterious, and abstract parts of Graffiti way more than the random and empty elements on Tagged. Graffiti is also a well-known Tracer fit, and that gives it some seniority and nostalgia. Graffiti's fun, and possesses one of Tracer's better weapon skins, so I felt it deserved recognition here in my top 5.
Want a Sprite cranberry?
Okay, I'm starting to see why Overwatch has such advanced futuristic technology and weapons. They clearly have some kind of partnership with Santa's workshop. Be careful next time you pull something out of your stocking. It just might be a pulse bomb. 4th place goes to another, even more classic Tracer skin, her Winter Wonderland outfit from Overwatch 1, Jingle. This was another very early legendary in Tracer's lineup, being from the first ever Winter Wonderland event in 2016. Jingle is one of those skins that I believe to have stood the tests of time, remaining one of my favorite Tracer skins despite how old it is. I honestly think it's a lot of fun, and that seems to be the goal for a lot of these Tracer skins. It's got an intensely Christmas aesthetic, transforming Tracer into one of Santa's elves. She's got the holiday hat that flows down her back a little bit, this cute dress that kind of separates out into these golden bells all over, pointy shoes here, and she's even got a Christmassy wreath making up her chrono accelerator. I also like the padding that's on her wrist gauntlets, and also on her guns, but the guns are fairly simple here, I will admit. She looks like a stereotypical elf you'd see at the mall during Christmas time, which is both accurate and therefore outstanding. Jingle is just her most fun outfit in my opinion, and that's the reason why I gave it this spot on my ranking. Oh boy. my ADHD hyperfixation is turning back on with this one. I might start my hostile takeover of game theory now that MatPat's retiring, because I can't resist the lore. Coming in at third place is Tracer's Overwatch 1 Archives event legendary skin, Cadet Oxton. This is a look at a younger version of Tracer from her first days as an Overwatch agent during the King's Row Uprising. It was a playable mission that I'm sure many of you OG players are familiar with, where you would make your way through King's Row delivering an EMP payload while taking out Null Sector robots, many of whom reappeared in the Overwatch 2 PvE missions. I am a sucker for blue, but blue armor with badass future tech, now you're speaking my language. While there is some fairly empty space on the lower half of this skin, with her mostly black and gray pants, there are plenty of smaller add-ons that make Cadet Oxton pop. For example, there's a ton of this small wiring and circuitry that's exposed all over the skin, making her combat suit feel like it was kind of rushed to be made, or even just uses older tech, which is cool. Again, that's kind of the point of this skin, to show a piece of Overwatch lore and history, which I think they did so effectively with many of the archive skins, including Cadet Oxton. She's also got on a flight attendant's cap here, which is kind of funny, but is also a nice callback to her former life as a pilot, and I like that reference. The weapons may be my favorite part of this design. They dive fully into the military-grade style that Overwatch initially employed as a global peacekeeping unit. It kind of reminds me of some of the guns used on the other, like, Origins edition skins. Cadet Oxton is a massive W in my book because I like the colors, the numerous lore references, and some of the fun tidbits in the design itself. However, it could be better than this, maybe with more of the blue armor on the legs, or something to not feel as empty. That's part of why I only gave it third place. Just because I'm a sucker for blue doesn't mean it can save everything.
Why are all my limbs slack? Why can't I move my eyes? Oh, why can't I move my mouth? Is this an internal dialogue? I can't see the end of the horizon. Hatsune Miku!
I swear to God, if any of y'all make a K-pop joke in the comments, I'm gonna lose what's left of my mind. I don't listen to it, so how was I supposed to know there was already a famous singer named Ryujin? I like dragons, and Ryujin just happens to also be a Japanese dragon god, and then I just added some numbers. I thought it sounded cool. The only K-pop I know is BTS, and it's only because everyone makes jokes about BTS going to war. Now that that's out of the way, second place goes to one of the best outfits Tracer's gotten in a long time, her Overwatch 2 shop exclusive skin, Anti-Fragile Tracy. This is the ultimate girly pop Tracer skin, which is honestly why I think so many people like all these K-pop skins. Anti-Fragile Tracy comes from the Overwatch 2 and Le Seraphim collab event from a few months ago in 2023. I sounded a bit confused there because I don't know if that's how you pronounce their name, so forgive me if I'm wrong. Anyway, I didn't really expect a K-pop collab with Overwatch to happen, but from what I've read, it seems that Le Seraphim is a rapidly rising group of singers, so I guess Overwatch just wanted to capitalize on their popularity. I did listen to the song that was used for this event and the official Overwatch animated music video for it, and it's okay, I guess. I only remember like one part from the chorus, but it's alright, it's alright, haha, don't kill me in the comments, K-pop stands, haha. I do think this skin is fun and pretty neat, giving off this poppy vibe. I like the sort of nighttime outfit with the bright neon lights on her armor, and also a bit on the backpack too. These pistols, on the other hand, might be the best Tracer guns ever made. The detail on this sucker is insane. This pixel screen on the side here that spells out love, it actually changes colors ever so slightly to make it seem like it's moving a bit. It's nuts. We've got this jagged sphere in the capsule at the back that just looks pretty neat. I love this color that goes from this pastel pink into this purple and this baby blue. I think that just looks great, and there's even like a bit of a glittery effect on it too. There's like a whole power button on the back of the gun here with this little zipper or whatever this is. Like, there's just so much to look at that I never get tired of it. Anti-Fragile Tracy is certainly one of Tracer's best looks ever, and while I may know jack shit about K-pop, I still appreciate this skin and what it brings to the table. If that's not enough to show you why it deserves this spot on my ranking, I don't know what to tell you. Anti-Fragile Tracy slaps, but it's not my favorite. So let's move on to our final skin of this video. If If you told me Tim Burton was actually the one who designed this skin, I would totally believe you, no questions asked. In first place, my favorite Tracer skin is none other than her Overwatch 1 Halloween Terror event legendary, Will-O-Wisp. This skin is godly. Like, oh my god, it's amazing! There's this glowing green spectral energy that flows off on so many different parts, and it's absolutely crazy. I can see this leaving a trail behind you as you teleport around. Like, that would be so freaking cool. I don't know if it does that, but holy shit, it better. I also like that the color of her hair and her skin and her eyes is also, like, slightly different, being these complementary greens and grays to resemble an apparition. This pumpkin chrono accelerator is so scary, with the spectral energy coming out its eyes and mouth like an angry jack-o'-lantern. It's just badass. Not to mention the spiky silver teeth. The chains and spikes that are all over the skin really make it shine. The shoulder pad spikes make me think of a pointed black fence a bit, like some kind of spooky mansion, but then as you go further down to here on the wrist gauntlets, they resemble sharp metal claws like Freddy Krueger or Wolverine. These pointed shoes are hilarious. They only really match with the pumpkin on her chest, and the fact they're super curly like a witch's is just funny. The backside of this chrono accelerator is even more insane because it's got this like spectral portal that comes out the back with more of those spikes, and then it's attached to this sort of pearlescent kind of foggy crystal ball on the bottom. Finally, the guns are so gothic and intimidating, with this raven skull making up the top half of the pistol. It's then paired with this dark black metal and that same spectral green energy, all of which come together in this epic fashion. I like how this metal piece under the eye socket here kind of makes it look like there is an actual eyeball there, which makes the gun skin even cooler to me. Will-O-Wisp is scary, awesome, has insane detailing and even more insane effects, a well thought out color scheme, and is certainly her most transformative skin that we've seen. All of that put together is astounding, and it's super appealing to me, so that's why I consider Will-O-Wisp to be Tracer's absolute best legendary skin and my #1 pick for this ranking video. Before I end this video, I just want to give you a personal shout out for watching through the whole thing. The next skin ranking will be for a tank, so leave a comment below to secure your favorite tank heroes ranking. You can check out what heroes we've already ranked using the playlist on my channel page or in the description below. Don't forget, the top comment on this video and the previous Genji ranking will help determine our next pick, so show your support on both videos to see which one gets chosen. If both videos have the same hero as the top comment, that will be the decider, or if the two top comments are different heroes, then whichever one has more likes and replies will be the winner. Good luck, and may the best hero win. If you liked the video, hit the like button for me, and be sure to check out some of my other content on this channel. And if you really enjoyed what you saw, do me a huge favor and hit subscribe so you don't miss any future content. That's all from me. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.